Well, hello and welcome. This is your host Eric. We're here back at the drawing board to do some maximum penetration. Anyways, you may think the Mark II blueprint looks cool to build on, but I almost don't want to build on this thing anymore because Mark III looks so much better. You'll be updated with some posts on the YouTube community page, and there may accidentally be a sneak peek on the GMODISM channel, so if you haven't subscribed to that already, you probably now is the time. Anyways, what I've basically done here is I reviewed the results from last time. This is a continuation video, of course. You don't have to watch that, but it's called Optimal Kinetic APS something. So watch that, or not. In any case, here we are, and we are going to develop and see what type of APS shell will be the most deepest penetrator we can make. Now we are going to make a 8-meter variant that can fit in a 8-meter rod. So if it's going to be gunpowder or rail only, or gunpowder rail, we'll see from our testings. And we'll also see if what the millimeter is going to be, because I don't quite know that. I think making the biggest rod possible is best. So we basically have potentially a 20-meter rod, is it? No. 20 module is at least this. In any case, let's get back our hood here, and you can see I set up 20 module pieces. This is my contestants, the sabot head and solid warhead body, the heavy head and solid warhead body, the heavy head and sabot warhead body, so we get more kinetic damage but some AP, and then a fragmentation heavy head frag with a cone of 10 degrees. Somebody told me, was it Omicron? Was it? I shouldn't guess. Netameda? I shouldn't guess names. I don't remember. Somebody told me about an optimal. Was it 30 degrees, by the way? Degree, anyway. Somebody told me about the optimal degree for the frag. We'll test that later too. Anyways, first out, how do we fit 20 module things in a cannon? Well, I found out that 415 millimeters, if you go in here, it won't change anything, but you can see, and do another one. We can drag it here, and just when this becomes 9 meters, that's our limit. And it happens to be 415 millimeters. So we're gonna begin with assigning one of the shells. Right now, we got the frag warhead body there. And yeah, let's just repair everything and set this up to fire. I believe that you probably already know, I'm gonna disable repair, that it's gonna go through this, but just for the sake of it, here it is. No surprises. We're gonna go with the next. Can we penetrate this heavy armor here? We can't. Now this I don't really believe. I don't really believe this. I think we may not have enough rail power charged up. Or do we? By the way, what's our rail capacity? So we can have a maximum capacity of 171,000. And our current rail capacity, what's that? 70,000? Oh yeah, okay. So we obviously need to fix this railgun here. It's not able to cope with the extreme input we put it through. Alright, so we're not even enough yet. Okay, what's that? Now we're getting about almost 200,000 rail power. I don't know if that's the max, but it may be. Alright, there we go. So, let's try it. Fire. Getting through, no problem. Now, we did detonate the fragmentation, which means it wasn't too easy for it to get through. Let's try this next one. We're getting through here still, but it wasn't as easy as we might have hoped. Well, let's continue. What? What the hell? We didn't get through there. This is weird. We got full rail here, okay. Let's try that again. Bam! We can't get through, so when we're hitting this type, we are not getting through. Well, how about just a lot of stone? No problem at all. Right then. Well, let's try this one then. We can get through to that bit. So I think we're gonna color our shells here a little bit. I think we're gonna do like this to easily remind ourselves which is which. We can mark down their values here with like a red for the first one here, a green, a blue, and a yellow. I think that will be easy to remember. So obviously now we got the frag shell first. And yeah, I'm just gonna do a clean run through of all of these now that we sorted things out, you know. Of course, penetrating there as well. Now we might need to wait a few seconds for the rail to recharge. Getting a shell through there. Did it get through or did it bounce? It actually bounced. Well, we'll keep that in the results then. Next out. And there we're getting here. So we did get a bounce here. Oh, now I have the wrong color. It's gonna be red. It's gonna be the first test. You got to here. Penetrated that. Okay. Then we go to the next one. Please. Getting all the way through. No? No, actually not. Actually not. We kinda lined it up in a weird way, to be honest. That's like weird. Well, here we got two. Then we have the next one. Firing up here. We got two there. And then the last one. Let's make sure the rail is recharged. Yep, this is the hardest one. Bam. We got two there. Right then we can do the next shell. We're just gonna repair all. We're assigning this shell to all intakes and doing a little reload APS. So here we can see we got sabot warhead bodies with a heavy head. Right. So having the sabot warhead bodies naturally decreases the kinetic damage it deals, but it does make sure the AP value is higher. So yeah, that makes it deal more damage to heavy armor, like full damage to heavy armor, which is obviously nice. Whoops, one too far. There we go. Oh, it got through, but that was like barely. That was like barely. Okay, cool. Have we recharged? Yep, we have. Oh, we didn't get as far. We have actually worse results for this shell on this, but we penetrated this, which got deflected here. So that's interesting. Right then. Did we like slide off there again? It looks like it. And we didn't do too well. Do we have some weird ricochet or something? We do have the base bleeders, so it's possible that the base bleeders kind of make the inaccuracy off the charts. I don't know. Anyways, we're reloaded, so let's fire this. Bam! We got 2 blocks more there. Let's watch the last one there with the heavy armor. Okay, same results as the frag. Well then. Next shell it is. Now we got a heavy head and solid warhead bodies. This is the most raw kinetic shell we can imagine. Let me just make sure it's the right one. It is. Gonna assign to all intakes. Thank you. And update. Well, here we go again. Obviously, we're getting through there. I'm seriously wondering if the base bleeder has like a predictable type of inaccuracy or something. Because that's weird. Anyways, let's watch this in slow motion and just make sure where it pops. Oh yeah, it got straight through there, of course, but who knows? Wanna make sure though. We're recharged, all right. Oh, we're getting straight through there. And you may wonder why I added a base bleeder. Well, I added a base bleeder because if we don't have the base bleeder, we're basically like slower. The base bleeder makes us faster. Whoops, too far. You can see it has like a speed multiplier by 1.35. So yeah. Oh, no, I mean it modifies the speed with 0.15, so I guess it's like 15% faster or something. I not entirely remember. Anyways, inaccuracy is multiplied by like 1.35, which is basically 35%. Not good. Well, no problem cutting through there. This raw kinetic damage is pretty extreme. I have high hopes for this shell. We want to speed up time, however. Otherwise, recharging these rails may take time. Whoops, now we shot wrong. Okay, there we go. Bam, straight through. Good. Rail is recharged. Bam, getting through there. This is the first one we'll need to mark down. It has the same results as the sabot there, so it does have more raw kinetic damage, but due to the metal there, yeah, then we might expect worse results for the heavy armor ducts instead then. We'll see. I think it's recharged. Okay. No, we still got the same there. Very interesting. It means we got through here. So we only have the last shell to check here, which is then the sabot. Let's see here. Is it this one? Oh no, like the wrong shell. Sabot solids, right? Assigned to all intakes. This shell obviously has some extremely good penetration capabilities because it, with its sabot head, shouldn't get stopped by like the heavy armor's armor. It has an armor piercing value expected of 84. That's more than stacked heavy armor, right? So if you check it out here, we got a much higher expected like kinetic damage. If we put this, do we have this? If we max this out, we can see we got 163,000 as an expected, and with this maxed out, which it already is, we got an 80,000. So the potential damage is very different, but solid with heavy heads have a tendency to get deflected and stuff, while sabot heads rarely, extremely rarely get deflected. So let's just check through here then. I think we can assume we'll get through here with no problems. And yeah, this one as well, obviously. And we should perform pretty decently for this one as well. Shooting through, but pretty slow to be honest. That's interesting. And if we do this one, oh, we got a little bit off the charts here, but definitely penetrating all the way through. And then we get this one. All right. Bam! Less penetration. That is interesting. And if we pop to the last one, making sure our rail are fully available, and that we set the rail to like use everything it can. Yeah. All right then. Let's shoot. Same results. All right. Interesting indeed. Same results. Interesting indeed. Right, so we're just gonna test this. We're just gonna shoot this against the heavy armor. We got 87,000 damage. And if we quickly swap to the shell with the best results otherwise, which is heavy head and solids, like that, and fire, 85,000. So very similar damage, and that's of course because the heavy head gets a damage reduction on this heavy armor, while Disabo's won't, but Disabo's has less damage. It seems to not matter very much, to be honest, but like all in all, if we don't consider the potential risks of deflection, it seems reasonable to use the heavy head. But if we counter in the risk of deflections and angled armor, the Sabot head is the safer option. And that's the results I have already, of course. What's interesting to see, and with this particular test, the frag did not provide as good penetration, which is expected. The frag has higher potential damage, but it's also more volatile. We need ejectors and stuff if we use this. I did some quick testing and checked it out here. We can do this. We can make the modules 16, and if we make them 16, the max shell gauge here will turn up to, well, 500. And it still fits in an 8-meter outloader. Exactly fits. So we're gonna test and see if 450mm versus 500mm, if we can get deeper with these new iterations. Well then, we loaded it up. It apparently uses 200,000 rail charge now. So yeah, we're maxing out. We're maxing that out. Obviously, we're getting through here. I set the cannon to only fire at full reload. We got through there. It doesn't look like we did. Let me reshoot this. Yeah, well, thank you. And... oh, we didn't get through. Look at that. We did not get through here with the heavy head. So we'll need to mark that. We actually got stopped. That's surprising. Well, next up we got the... wait, where is it? Thank you. Oh! And we're even getting stopped here. That's bad. Well, getting through, nice. And we got stopped around there. That's like one of the better performers, but whoops, oh no, that's a mistake. Right. So we'll just fire here. Yep. And same results as always. Very interesting. So it seems it's honestly a bit worse. Let's check the Sabot head. Perhaps if we stick in some gunpowder here, it could make sense. I don't know. It will be interesting to see. Obviously, we're gonna first try the 500mm Sabot shell. Sabot solid warhead shell. Oh, And we naturally need to repair this thing as well. Obviously, we're getting through that. No problem at all. Getting through, no issues. Yep, we're getting through there as well, but we're slowing down seriously. We're seriously slowing down. Whoops. What? That probably went through, right? It's just, it got deflected, and it might be the case with these as well. They just got deflected. So yeah. I saw the shell, so I won't mark it down this time. Right. Oh, look at that. Not as good, actually. Not as good. And the last one. Bam, we got the same results as always. So basically, what we want to do is we want to see if we can penetrate this point somehow. I suspect that we have full AP value. What is the stats of this heavy head here with full rail? Full rail roll, we got like... I'm starting to wonder here, if we would, for example, take this heavy head and add some gunpowder instead. Whoops. Also, oh, that's a blunder. I totally forgot about the base bleeder. Look at that. I forgot about the base bleeder. That's probably why we have like worse points as well. Well. We're gonna do like this then. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna add. You're gonna be added there. Gonna be added there. Copy some settings. And we're not gonna have 4 module, we're gonna have a 1 module. What we're basically gonna do, we're gonna craft shells that are just a little bit smaller. So we're gonna have gunpowder modules here. We're gonna begin with this heavy head, we're gonna have a gunpowder casing. Whoops, the base bleeder is going here, of course. Oh wait, the base bleeder obviously goes here. What am I even thinking with? So, now we have... Oh, that's interesting. We can't use the full rail draw here. So if we add a railgun casing... This is weird. It's like, why? So for solid warhead bodies, railgun casings are completely useless. I actually thought railgun casings would be a little bit like more useful. Look at that. They do nothing. But if we add gunpowder, and we still do full rail draw here, gunpowder casing. Okay, so here it starts to pick away. We have a base bleeder here. We're almost full. Okay, we're not gonna test the base bleeder right now. 1 gunpowder casing and the rest solid warhead bodies will give us to like max capacity. This is very interesting. I wonder if we perhaps could set this thing up. I'm getting ideas. This is, we need to decrease the gunpowder to like a very small amount. Oh my, look at that. That's really sad. It's too large. Oh well. So if we have 2... Yeah, I think maybe that's what we need to do. We need to test the base bleeder here, because otherwise we'll not be able to even test this. And we'll like drag this, and we exactly get into So we almost have one propeller. We got a base bleeder. I think this should be pretty decent. All right. Cool. Let's test. We do 93,000. We didn't see it kill this block, but it's an improvement. All right. Oh, yep. We are outperforming all the shells so far. Maybe there is a place for rail assist. And if we just watch this again, we'll just need to check this out. So, here we have the heavy head, 500 millimeters, full rail draw. We get an armor piercing value of 31. Now, the thing is, the most usual target we shoot at is metal. And it has an armor of 40, stacked it's 48. So if we shoot this, we deal 140. But, ladies and gentlemen, if we go in here and add some sabot warhead bodies, maybe if we get the value closer to like 40, 37 is pretty close, 38, will we outperform? I don't think we will, but let's try. I think we did. I think indeed we did. Okay, let's try again. 152,000 damage. This is very interesting. Let's instead then swap this to a sabot head and switch these backs to solid. This is interesting. All right. And we beat 152,000. What? No way. I think I added something completely off here. Sabot warhead body. Oh, yeah, that explains. Sabot head it should be. All right. 94,000. No, okay. For maximum penetration like this against metal, it seems indeed that the heavy head is the only thing we can have. And it's not surprising. The heavy head has a multiplier for kinetic damage. Question is now, if we add like 2 sabot warhead bodies, is that going to be enough? Did we reload these? Okay, 143,000. So we're adding 2 more sabot warhead bodies. We really want to find like the maximum value here. 147,000. So the reduction from the armor is still too much. Add 2 more. All right. 149,000. I did reset that, right? Yeah, 149,000. So not quite. We'll need more sabot warhead bodies. We're adding 2 more. 152,000. We're back here. So if we add more sabot warhead body, if we get it past 40, we should be wasting damage. So this should be a little bit less, to be honest. No, it's the same, and that's good because usually there is stacked metal or there is something behind it. So I think we may have our ultimate shell here. Base bleeder, heavy head, this many sabot warhead bodies and the rest being solid. This is the best for a 500 millimeter shell. Okay, 150,000 damage is a reasonable amount. We're gonna create a epic shell here inside the shell designer. So we're here because we want to play around with these values here. I want to see where we're getting maximum amount of rail draw and still be able to fit this thing. Now I would suspect that if we have a, let's do like, I just realized something, and there is an even better shell. I think there may be an even better shell. Let us update these APS shells. What if we instead have, let's see here, the armor piercing head and only solids? This should theoretically bypass the AP while retaining the kinetic damage. I don't know. Let's see if it works. Doesn't. Well, now we checked. Good. By the way, if we undershoot, so we are having instead 39 point something, we can deal 153,000 damage instead. But as said, most, like, even if it's stacked by a layer of wood, this deals more damage, like, yeah. So that's why we keep it a little bit overshooting 40. You generally want to undershoot what you shoot at, so we're shooting at a bit over 40 targets generally. Especially considering that stacked alloy has AC 42, so we want to make sure we deal full damage to that as well, because many people, even till this day, use alloy as exteriors. Before we try to find a shell that's gonna fit an 8 meter, let's do that optimal shell. Let's have a like diff gun variant. So we're gonna build this shell here. Obviously we want 20 modules, and we'll see what like gauge we'll have. But most likely we want to have a heavy head and solid warhead bodies. So I wonder, like, if we get it to there, we obviously have some untapped potential. I would imagine that we probably can stick in a couple of gunpowders here. And we should probably stick in gunpowders until it complains, right? So about that point, if we add another one, we are not at full potential anymore. So this needs to be a solid warhead body. And I wonder if we make it a base bleeder, can we still draw that full? Gunpowder here. All right. We obviously want to draw that full. If we just check the expected kinetic damage, it's 180,000. And if we compare that to the base bleeder here and the solid warhead there, max this out. Yeah, so now it's 189,000. Actually, I don't remember what it was. Yeah, okay, so it's better to have the base bleeder here, solid warhead body there, max out the rail draw, so we got 9,000 extra damage. Then we can have 3 gunpowders. The shell is obviously 10 meters, so that's extreme. At this point, however, our expected armor piercing is 31, so I suspect we'd like to add some sabot warhead bodies until we get to the slightly under 40 value. Or slightly over 40 actually, 40.2, that will be fine. Right, I think we have the craziest shell we can have here. So we're just gonna do like that. Make sure we're ready. And click fire. What? 110? Is this a joke? Why? We may have shot the wrong shell. Now, it should be fine. 110? What's going on? I know what's going on. I shot at the wrong target. Yeah, so apparently, now we know that, it doesn't penetrate much further. Anyways. I think that's record. That's 165,000. So this shell is now dealing 165,000 damage. Neat. I'm curious, however, if we undershoot instead, add back some solid warhead bodies, and deal 37.7 instead. 162. Well, quite similar as to be expected. But that's pretty extreme. 163,000, 62,000 damage is probably as much as we can expect. And if we do this shot at this thing, will it... oh, I need to reload manually because we're a diff gun now. I mean, it penetrates well, but if you have 2 meters of heavy armor duct, we're not getting through. So considering that the railgun magnet is 300, you know, a diff gun with a maximum penetrating shell is probably prohibitively expensive. Not to mention that this thing is pretty inaccurate. Oh, so I found the optimal shell for heavy armor ducts. If we have only solid sabot warhead bodies and a heavy head, we can shoot record penetration. 3 heavy armor ducts will go 113,000 damage. That's pretty extreme. I do wonder, I'm just too curious to not test this. What if we swap this to a sabot head instead and just added solid warhead bodies, because this is usually the thing that penetrates the best. So let's check back here and see what happens if we do like this. Oh, it's not as good. Well, good to know. It is faster though, but heavy head with only sabot warhead bodies is a slightly better penetrator. So my assumption is that maxing up the rail draw is the only right thing to do, but it's possible that you don't need to do that, you can replace it with gunpowder with the same results. So we're gonna test that. And it seems that this is indeed not the case. No. Well, now we checked at least, so I can resume my assumption. Now we have found the best possible shell, which is then... let us get that back. 3 gunpowder, 1 base bleeder. Then we have solid warhead body and a heavy head, and we replace as many of the solid warhead bodies with sabots, so we are slightly under the expected value we intend to shoot at. Now we know we're gonna shoot at exactly 40 due to this being ducts and they not having armor stacking. But let's try. 165,000 is the max thing. This is my little notepad, by the way. It's gonna be a little video on the GMODISM channel too, if you wonder. And this is a diff 500. Now, I don't suspect we will be able to do more damage using a smaller gauge, because that wouldn't make any sense. But let's just try and see what happens if we make this 490 millimeter, for example, which obviously makes the rail draw a little bit. And oh, if we have 2 now what we can do here is we can move this a little bit and see where, at what gauge 2 gunpowder maxes out. Oh, so 481 millimeters, 2 gunpowder base bleeder. All right then. Let's try this shell instead. 162,000 damage. Very close, but not quite there. and 108,000. Okay, it's not quite there as we could expect, but let's, for the sake of testing, make sure that we remove another one. We'll add back suppose so we are at the undervalue, and see if this then, let's see here, if we can lower this to 460, 70. It's really like a balancing act. 466 seems to be the next stage. You know what I completely forgot? I think I forgot to change the... Oh, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I forgot to change it on the firing piece. And that's what matters. So 466. What did we even test there? Alright. Here it is. It's 466. Now we should try this. We need to redo the one with the 2 gunpowder as well. Make sure it's really fresh. Bam, 109. Now we get a different sound too. And this one, 162,000. That's not as well good as 165,000. Again, the 2 gunpowder variant. And then we have the base bleeder there. Gonna make sure we're slightly overshooting here. So we're gonna add another solid instead. And we're gonna check, was it 180? At what point can we use the full rail draw? 182, 181 was it, right? It's so hard to scroll adjust this. It needs to be accurate. Okay, 181. So we're gonna set the barrel to 181. Whoops. 481 I obviously mean. And this will be very, very interesting. Okay. Bam, 164,000 damage. Right, that's not quite it. 109. This is admittedly a bit interesting. To get the max rail draw, it's enough with 497mm shells. So we're gonna see if we can see a difference between this 497. I mean, I don't even know what numbers I'm saying anymore. 497mm and the 500. Alright then. 110 for the heavy armor. 165 for the metal. It's the same. It's very close, obviously. But if we imagine we just make this a little bit larger. If we fire again. Whoa, now we have the wrong target. There we go. 176,000. That's neat. And this one. If it will ever recharge. Oh, obviously, this is a diff gun, I'm sorry. 165. Yeah, neat. Weird about that heavy armor though. Well. So we could put it down to 497 if we wanted to be a tad bit faster. You can see the expected kinetic damage is 166,000. If we go one full 500, we got 167,000 instead, but the speed is just a few meters per second slower. which also may mean that if you have under 500mm gun, maybe you can trick the lamps or something. I don't know. It seems to do a little difference, but this is the maximum penetrative shell. And if we have a slightly higher speed, our expected armor piercing value should be a little bit higher. If we are a bit faster, maybe. So 39.6, and if we do that up there, 39.4. So I think, now it's hard to test these small differences with the randomness in the game, but I think the maximum penetrative shell is thus 497mm, 3 gunpowder, a base bleeder, just undershooting the target you're shooting at, and have a heavy head. Yeah. I'm gonna save and make a shell here with this as a prefab, because this needs to be saved for history. So if you're a commissioned officer, next update you can access this maximum penetrative shell if you want to do some more tests. Yeah, there it is, AOG M4X P3N, if you get my drift. 497mm max pen. Thank you, you can say now. I have enforced lead speak on you. I hope you're happy. Well, do tell me if you managed to make a shell that can penetrate deeper than this. 165,000. And of course, we can adjust the shell a little bit dependent on the target. But yeah, diff gun, no rules. Do tell me if you manage to make a design that's better. And if you do, I want to know what you put in it, because I can't imagine a shell doing more penetration than this. Obviously, it's not set up for heavy armor though. If we want that, we need to replace each of those with solids, which I just did. And then we get this damage, 113,000. So if you can make more than 113,000 damage against heavy armor, or well, 165 against metal, that I want to know. So we'll tweak it against heavy armor. And just to confirm these results, I want to try and shoot it against regular 4-meter heavy armor beams, just to see how deep it goes. 94,000 damage we could manage there. And we made it through. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 4. Make sure it's not a fluke. There we go. So here it stops. It thus penetrates, is it 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 meters of heavy armor. I'm so curious. If we try once more, I just want to know once more if switching to a sabot head and having solid warhead bodies all the way will make it deal more damage. Sabot head, solid warhead bodies, because remember that the heavy armor we shot at before was not stacked because we couldn't stack it. This regular heavy armor block is stacked, which means that the sabot head should maybe penetrate better. Alright, we'll just need to reload. And it does. And it does. Okay, so versus stacked heavy armor, the sabot head is actually better. Versus unstacked heavy armor, it's better with a heavy head. So we're pretty unlikely to meet a target that's this stacked heavy armor. It's probably better to opt at something that's less armored like that, but man, if we really look to destroy heavy armor, a solid shell with a sabot warhead body is better. Yeah, then we can reach 16 meters of heavy armor. That's the max I can muster, it seems. Well, Trying to make this fit in an 8-meter shell is obviously impossible. We'll need to do some more testing to determine how large or how like small gauge and stuff can be. But I feel that our time is kind of out. That's for another video. But now we know. Sabot, solid warhead all the way. That's for sure better when you are targeting heavy armor only. But for not only heavy armor, like maybe only metal, 165,000 damage we can deal with a very scary configuration, which you saw a minute ago. Well, the final test to just test our theory is obviously against metal. Now we have the Sabot warhead body. No, now we have the solid warhead body with the Sabot tip. And we can reach all the way here 101,000 damage. And if we instead go and set in our optimal shell, like this, overshooting metal a tiny bit, and setting it to 497. Let us shoot. Oh! Did the shell despawn? We'll need to try that again. Oh! 100. Oh, bam! Yeah, this deals more damage. That's alright, it's just not keeping straight. Wow. Makes me worried that the previous shell wasn't straight either. Alright. Oh man. Alright, this then. It's going under. Are you kidding me? This is impossible. Oh my. Work. It refuses. They are finally 139,000. This is almost impossible. Okay. There we have it. That's where it stops. 139,000. Now I just need to make sure that the previous shell we shot wasn't fraud. Okay. Just one more. 138,000. Now the solid Sabot rod. Well. Let's try again. 100,000. Right. It doesn't escape. It dies there. Good to know. So we didn't have flawed results. Okay, last here. The theory is then that we're meeting stacked metal, so having only Sabot warheads and no solids would probably make sense. So that we must try. 141,000. That's more than 38 or 39. Just to make sure, did that even go through? Yeah, it gets destroyed. 141,000. So if you can make a shell that deals more than 141,000 kinetic damage, well, send me a message. It would be interesting to see. Crazy testing session this. I hope you enjoyed it. And as said, check out the GMODISM channel for some extra from the depth content you may have missed. And more is coming. This is your host Eric of GMODISM. We're signing out and well, continue to serve the Empire by liking our videos. Well, in that case, I'm signing out.